Hi, everybody. It looks like we got some folks that are starting to trickle in here. Happy Wednesday, by the way, to everybody out there. So if this is your first Weaveworks office hours that you're attending, I'll lay a little bit of information on you that might help you. We're Weaveworks. We make really cool stuff that makes cloud native software development and continuous deployment a lot easier. We help make GitOps accessible for companies that are big and small and operate around the world. And on Wednesdays at this time, 10 to 10:30 a.m. Pacific, we carve out 30 minutes to sit with you, people that use Flux, people that use our open source tools, and show you something cool and answer your questions, whether those are questions about the cloud native space, about technologies that are being used, about Flux, about Weave GitOps or Weave GitOps Enterprise. In previous episodes, we've done introduction to our new Backstage plugin. We've talked about our Weave GitOps open source solution for product or for engineering teams and application development teams. Today, I'm joined by Josas, who's going to be talking about our VS Code extension that's compatible with Flux, with our whole environment of open source tools. Thank you very much for joining us today, Josas. I hope it's not too late where you are.
No, it's not. Thank you.
Perfect. Do you want to talk a little bit about, maybe for just a moment, like help the folks that are listening understand what is the VS Code extension?
So it's probably easier if I share my screen and
it's even better.
Okay, do that.
Awesome.
Okay, desktop one. Slides, always slides. So I want to show you some VS Code, and I want to show you also how to do tasks. And if we have time, I'd like to set up Flagger and progressive delivery. I'm going to show you how to set up, configure it, and just kind of overview. So it looks like we're going to do a demo, but before we get to demo, this is what we're trying to do with the extension. We have point and click interface, get quick dashboard-like overview of what's going on with your Flux setup, with your Weave GitOps setup, and then use the different features of the editor already to allow you to do new things, kind of stay in a single application to do your development with Flux. In the demo, if I get to it, I'll still be using CLI a lot, but the goal is to not have to switch as much. So let me show you the editor. I think I'm going to zoom in a little bit. How is the font looking? Is it visible from where you are?
I can read it, so I'm hoping everybody else can too. Looks great.
Okay, so actually I want to do this little thing beforehand. So this is what it looks like normally when you don't have anything set up. This is the UI. It has clusters, sources, workloads, and recently added stuff for Weave GitOps and also for Flagger, which is open source. But if you don't have it installed, this is how you install it. You go to extensions for GitOps, and it comes up right here. And there are two different versions. So there's a release version, and there is a pre-release version. So normally you should have release version like this, but some new stuff for canaries is still pre-release, and it's actually a little buggy, so sorry about that. But if you want to get the latest and a little bit experimental stuff, go to pre-release, and usually a few weeks is the time we take to polish it and release it to the final release. I'm going to use pre-release. It's all installed right here. And the way I have it set up is I have a separate pane on my screen just for VS Code. So if I go Window, or View, and Editor Layout or Appearance, secondary sidebar or Alt-Shift-B, and then you get this another area. So if I go here, I drag it there. I also gonna drag the Kubernetes extension here. So now the extension is always visible, so you can work with your files here. and you can work with your Flux on the right side and see things happening live. Okay, so it has 4 views. Actually, it has 5 views. Documentation, which is not loaded again for some reason. Maybe try to reload. Oh, here it is. Documentation. We've GitOps workload sources and clusters. Clusters come from kubeconfig, and you can switch to each cluster by right-clicking and see all the stuff in the cluster. Loads up API, loads up Flux resources. You can see Flux deployments in the cluster, and you can configure some things about a little bit of information. So I'm going to show you just a quick config as well, because some of the stuff requires configuration. So Flux check will tell you if your Flux installation is green here. You'll get little green check marks. And for slow systems, you might want to have some timeouts for slow connections so that it doesn't spin forever on loading. So you might want to set this up. And the final thing, if you want to use we've GitOps features, you have to click enable WGE features, and that includes open source canaries. So that's the basic setup. I have a terminal here as well. I'm gonna do that. Clear that. Okay, so this is a cluster that's already set up. It has a lot of stuff in it. Everything's grouped by namespace. You have Helm repository or Git repository in there. And if you click on it, it will open the resource from the cluster. So you can quickly see what's going on, find some status or artifacts, information. You can hover over, you get summary info. If something is not working, it will be marked in red, but everything seems to be working right now. You can right click on some things and you can make them reconcile right away. So for a Git repository, we'll pull a repo on the cluster and will be available right there. And it shows you the commands that it runs. So if you don't know Flux and you kind of learn by clicking around, you can click around and see what happens. And then you can copy these commands and script them yourself. So repositories, they just have Helm or Git repositories, and then sources, workloads reference the sources and then apply things, also grouped by namespace. So we have a very simple pod info example. It's a Helm release. You click on it, and then you see the definition, and you can see that it has, source reference, Helm pod info, and then you see all the things that it creates. So if you want to see what kind of service was created by a Helm release, click on it and then open the service and see the information. And you have certain actions for these objects too. So you can force a reconcile, you can suspend, you can delete, and you can trace how objects move through the system. That's overview for that. For Weave GitOps, we also have templates, which you can, if you have installed, you can create from template, and this will generate some stuff locally. So I'm just going to go code and temp. And then if there are templates on your Weave GitOps cluster, WG cluster, you can fill them in, click save, and it will build all the files, and then you can put them in Git and work with them. You can also do open in Weave GitOps Enterprise. Here's the cluster creation, open, and hopefully this works with the logins. Login with OIDC provider, RAN access. So if you have this portal, then click on it, takes you to there, fill it in, and then you can create a cluster, just moving back and forth to your editor or Weave GitOps. Canaries is for progressive deployment. It allows you to upgrade something, and then a copy of deployment is made, traffic is routed, and if it's good, then it gets promoted. Pipelines for moving releases from one environment to other. You can see the environments, like here's a dev environment, there's a cluster, GitOps cluster. I'm gonna try to connect to VPN real quick. Hopefully it works. Click on it, says current context. Now it's switched to that cluster, and now we see everything in that cluster once it loads. if the VPN works. So here, GitOps sets also in how it's based. GitOps sets also used to generate things across multiple environments. It just visualizes them for now. So that's the views that you have. Then the second thing you have is file interactions or object interactions. So I'm going to go to my kind cluster again, which should be pretty blank. It has some stuff in there, but no GitOps stuff right now. But even if you don't have any Flux stuff, if you're working on like an app that combines manifests and deployments and Kubernetes stuff with app logic, which might happen, you can have a file, for example, a deployment for an app. It's a pod info, very simple stuff. You can right click on it and then GitOps and then apply, and then we'll just put it on your cluster. So this is a development process that you can do just to try things out. And then you put it in Git, and then you get actual GitOps. I have it actually assigned to shortcut. So GitOps cluster Control-Shift-K. So if I press Control-Shift-K, it will automatically apply that YAML. So I can, if you see me making changes in the demo and I want to see how it works, I just press Control-Shift-K. Now it's on the cluster, and then I should be able to see it here. All right, so that's the main functions. There's also a little hidden thing, open kubeconfig, if you want to edit your kubeconfig, set kubeconfig. It's a variety of tools to make it easier to work with clusters and GitOps configuration. So let's do an example. Actually, I'm going to do Bootstrap. So I have it all here on demo. Okay, so you probably know Bootstrap. It installs Flux and also tells Flux to update itself based from Git. So this is my Bootstrap command. This is my Git repository. It ran everything, and you see here on the right, it is going green, red, green, and now I have GitOps set up. So if you're new, I guess, then I will just show you a little bit as a Git repository that refers to this URL. It has a customization that refers to this Git repository in the name called Flux system, the namespace Flux system, which and this is now part of this repo. So if I do git pull, Flux added that. Here's the info. This is the stuff that Flux added. This is a customization. This is what's applied. Components, namespace. This is Flux installation. You can go here, reload. Sometimes you have to reload. And you see Flux is installed. All the things that are part of Flux are here. Everything is green. Okay, so now we have Flux, but we would like to install some applications. So we want also that to be managed by GitOps. So first, I'm actually just gonna install the application normally, and then we'll put it in GitOps. And then I think let me I wanna install we have GitOps portal. So let me just do that. Let me do maybe the portal. Okay. Create. Okay, so we're gonna create a dashboard. Create dashboard. And then we're gonna do password. And we're going to do export. Dashboard. Okay. Create dashboard. This one. Okay, so it's all in the Flux system. Okay, so we're gonna just do this. We're gonna send this to the dashboard.yaml file. Okay. So now we have created a YAML file for our demo portal right here. And it has it has a Helm repository and a Helm release. And then let's just try to apply them. So I'm gonna press Control-Shift-K to apply it. Okay, so I found the Helm repository, found the Helm release, and then and it's progressing. You can see some stuff here. It should work, I hope. Yeah, that looks pretty good. If we look at services, maybe find the service. Here's a service. Okay, so let's first try to port forward to this. Port forward SVC slash portal weekend up. Okay. In the namespace, Flux system, Flux system, and then just do 8080 and the port. I think is a port 80 on this one. Port 80, no, we'll try. Okay, no, it's port 9. What is the port of that? Port's 9. Let's see if it works. Okay. So we go. Now it should have 8080 on our browser. Let's try that. Okay. 8080. Okay. Okay, it's the portal. So it should be admin. Okay. Continue. All right, this is the portal. It shows you same stuff, but now it's in the portal form. But if I have a new cluster, I will not have this installed because I have to manually install every time. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take these portal definitions and we're going to put them in GitOps. So now when you set up a new cluster and you bootstrap, it will also install this stuff. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the dashboard YAML, and then I'm going to do right-click GitOps and then delete. So it's just gonna wipe away the Helm releases. So now there should not be anything here. It is gone. Okay, so we already have a Git repository and we have a customization called Flux system. And then we're gonna have components, sync, customization. We're gonna add another file here called no, we're gonna think we're gonna sync this. We're gonna call it app sync. Let's try that. Yeah, no. And then we're gonna copy. Actually, we're gonna do this. We're gonna use some of the UI that we have. So we're gonna go to this Git repository, and we're gonna do add customization. And this is the Git repository, Flux system. We're going to create a customization called dashboard. In the namespace Flux system, and the path is going to be demo dashboard. And the target namespace, what is this for? What was namespace before? Let's just put everything in Flux system to keep it simple. Okay, prune. Okay, and if I click create, it will just apply this customization. But I don't want to create it. I want to create a YAML and I want to add it to it. So to Git. So I'm gonna click YAML. Now I have a customization that should apply the dashboard stuff each time it syncs. So I'm gonna save this. What was the file name? App sync. Okay, so let's do that. Code. Okay. Code. System. App. Save. YAML. Save. Okay. So this is the customization, it has appsync.yaml. It will load up this file, and this file will create a customization. that will go to same Git repository, but now to this path right here. And we'll apply stuff in demo portal, which might need customization YAML too, but let's try it. Okay, so everything is now in Git. Go to terminal. This is Git add commit, but I'm just gonna type yeah, okay, add thing.yaml. Okay, so now this is in Git. Now this customization called Flux system should pick up appsync.yaml. Let's try reconcile with source. See what happens. Okay, so this was added. This was added. There's a Helm repository for Portal, and now there's a Helm release for Portal. And when it's first added, it doesn't load children, so you have to reload. Should be fixed. But yep, here's the portal. It has a bunch of stuff. Go there. Try to load it again. Is it gonna work? Oh no, it needs a port forward. Okay, but let's try the port forward, and then let's try to add an ingress too. Terminal. Let's try this portal GitOps. Okay, it's there, but we don't want a port forward. We want an ingress, and this is kind. And I set up a kind cluster, local cluster, but I've set up an ingress controller already, so I'm going to try to do that, and then we can use that ingress controller to demonstrate progressive delivery as well. But first, just create ingress for this dashboard. So the dashboard YAML. Let's create. I just have some templates. So let's copy ingress template. Ingress. Okay. And just do new file. This. And the host is going to be. I have Etsy host set up because this is a demo. And so we GitOps demo is the host name. Demo, and the service name is what is the service name? Portal namespace service. Okay, name is this. Ingress name. Okay, service, I guess. Namespace. Service namespace, Flux system. Flux system. All right, I'm gonna put this maybe in default. See if that works. No, I'll put everything Flux system because it might cause problems that will not be interesting to debug because they're not going to be part of VSCode. I'm just going to keep everything in one namespace, and this is going to be called dashboard ingress. Okay, we GitOps demo, and then the port was port 9001. 9000 and okay. Okay, so I have ingress. I haven't committed anything. I don't know if I want to commit it, so I'm just going to press Control Shift K to apply it. Ingress inversion cannot coding is no namespace. So I guess it should be fine. It's the same namespace. Let's do this. Okay. All right. So now the ingress was created. If it worked, I should be able to go to this right here on my local machine. And then should load the portal. Oh, and it works. Okay, so now we have ingress. I also have the kind cluster set up, so it knows about these host names with kind of hard-coded DNS. So from inside the kind cluster, this is also a real host name, and it will point to the ingress controller as well, which you need to have that because ingress is based on hosts. And in this repo here, which I can share maybe in the comments later, there's some setup for kind and core DNS, and this shows you how to set up kind to core DNS so that it works the same DNS name as external. But maybe I can copy the and put it in the chat right now. Repository, Flux system, repository, Flux system, that's the URL. Is everyone going to see? No, Q&A maybe? No, I can do this too. Okay, maybe you can share it later, but I put it in the webinar chat. Okay, so we have ingress. We want the ingress though to be part of GitOps. So delete the ingress. Ingress control shift. Okay, no, what is it? Ingress GitOps. Control shift D. Delete the ingress. No more ingress. No more this. Okay, great. Terminal. Okay. Okay, again. Ingress. Okay, so just show. Okay, we added the ingress to get also some comments here. Git push. And it should see it update. If we don't want to wait too long, we can click, I think right here, reconcile. Right now, if we look at all the resources, help do reconcile the source, reconcile the source. Change that, do nothing. Might need to add customization, how many dashboard is for maybe reconcile. Yeah, this is for a dashboard itself. No, this is for reconcile. Just reconcile everything. Flux system. Let's see if it works. Okay, it worked, but I'm not seeing the resource here because so customization dashboard is really the demo portal. So everything from there should be added. And it has things in Flux namespace, Helm release, and repository. It's not listing ingress. That might be another. Oh, here it is. Here's ingress that was created. It's not a bug. I'm a bit jumpy about bugs because I've been debugging this for weeks and weeks and weeks and trying to polish it. So yeah, now we see that it's part of a customization. Lives in namespace. It's a resource managed by this customization. If we want to do something, we could suspend the customization or do manual changes meanwhile. Okay, so here's the ingress. Maybe we don't know how to use the ingress. You can right click on this right here on this little text, and we'll open a JSON file with some information that it does. Okay, so that's the ingress. Now we can use the ingress to set up a canary deployment so that when the new version of dashboard is applied, traffic will be routed first to that. And then if that passes the test, then it will be routed to the new version. How are we on time to do that? We're good?
Okay. I think we can, yeah, absolutely. Go right ahead. Let's set up some CD pipeline there.
Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna work, but we will try. I just tried with pod info before, so it might be and demo if it doesn't work. Okay, so this is done.
I'll cross my fingers. We'll see.
Say again.
I'm hoping the best for you. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Thank you very much.
If it does, it does.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what makes it exciting.
Yeah, well, I did want some things to go wrong so I can show using VSCode, but I didn't want things to go so wrong where I'm Googling documentation for 30 minutes. Okay, so we already have some stuff.
But that probably shows the real life of a developer.
Yeah, it shows the real life. It's not a smooth workflow jumping back and forth from this to VSCode, but it is still helpful for Flux. It's very helpful for Flux stuff. All right, so we have a canary called pod info. I'm just going to delete that. Actually, I cannot delete that. That should be able to be deleted. Okay, I'm just going to leave it alone. Okay, so what have we got? We got dashboard. We have ingress. We want to create a canary and we want to configure it. We already have a load tester. We have metrics. So I'm just going to look at the previous canary that I created and copy stuff from there. So we had flagger, Okay, so we have Flagger set up already, which will, it's not in Git right now, and I want to try to do it in Git because some of the settings might go wrong. But Flagger is running, so okay, Git. Right. So what we have running is a Flagger load tester, and we have running Flagger itself in the wrong namespace actually, but it's fine. Prometheus, which is used by Flagger to determine app metrics, and then ingress controller, which already saw works. So I think all we need is a canary to for a dashboard. So um, okay, so here's the canary definition. So I'm just gonna copy it over there. Okay, and then canary name is gonna be namespace Flux system. Okay. Now we need to target some of the stuff that is on the dashboard. I don't know if we can target Helm releases or not uh, with, uh, with Flagger, but we're just gonna try to see if I can set the version of something different. Now let's create password. Um, hmm. Charts, but okay. Just do. Okay, it might not work because it's OCI repository. Yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to do this because I prepared pod info example. We do Flagger, canary. Let's do this. Okay. Nice target. Okay. I'm just gonna try to do a hacky way and see if I can override the deployment to see what happens. Okay, so Helm repository, Helm release, portal, namespace, endpoint. Okay, this is a portal deployment. We're gonna try mess with some things and see what happens. GitOps. Portal, deployment, templates, okay, we're gonna try to change this, see if that works. Okay, so carrying 20, 20. Okay, this is a configuration for the load tester. This is where the load tester lives, and this is what it's going to try to hit. We need the load tester because normally Flagger, let's say, it runs in a production app, and each time traffic goes to the app, it will route the traffic. But since it's running locally, there is no traffic, so it's just going to generate traffic and send it to root GitOps.demo. Okay, so now this is a canary that will update whenever a deployment changes. So let's just try to apply it and see what happens. GitOps, okay, apply. Yes. Okay. Space. Deployment. Initialized. Whatever it's not. I think it's just a canary with the existing deployment. It's not connected to anything yet. So let's try and see if we can get the deployment to change. Ideally, I want to change something here in the values. Let's just do this. Let's see if that works. Each false. Okay, so that should update the spec, I think. Spec. The things happening here. Okay. Maybe need to dashboard. Okay, now it has the latest stuff here. And this is it's going to try to do the Helm release, but I did not like it. What happened? Oh, okay, I think it's because Flagger created a service that Helm releases is trying to create, and it will not be happy. So I think I'm going to stop it here because it's kind of I haven't figured out the whole demo yet. I just wanted to show some VSCode stuff and kind of how we work with it. So that's kind of it.
This has been the best demo we've had yet, maybe. Actually, there's a few things that jumped right out at me. Number one, it's amazing that you can bring so many tools and so much context into a single view, right? I love that you don't have to leave this tool. You don't have to leave VS Code. I'm staying in the editor. I don't have to go, out of the editor constantly to web UIs and terminal and things like that. I kind of have a single interface here to so much that it seems as a developer, it would reduce context switching, having to use multiple tools. And of course, those things all increase, right? Like cognitive load, which is something that everybody wants to try and reduce these days. That's really cool. The other thing that jumps out at me is you're just moving forward, right? You're able to apply things. You're able to see, what kind of changes are going to be impacted, and do all of that before you make any kind of commit changes. So it just seems like productivity is front and center for this. And then I guess the last thing that jumped out at me is what a great way for people that are new to Flux, but not new to VS Code, to be able to use Flux and get going with GitOps enabled infrastructure and a way of working. So, this is all really cool. I'm going to answer. There was a question that had come in, and it was if about the Weave GitOps portal, if that's open source. And the answer is yes, that was Weave GitOps UI. You can access that from the Weaveworks repo. Go to weave.works and look at the open source projects that are listed. Find Weave GitOps, and you can get that portal and extend Flux with a really nice a dashboard and UI. Anything else that you wanted to chat about, or closing thoughts on this? This has been great and very, very informative.
I just well, all of us working on it would like feedback and bug reports and just more idea how it's used in practice. Honestly, I'm not a Kubernetes operator or a developer. I'm a UI developer, so there's like a big gap between what I think about like having good flow and responsive UI in the context compared to what people who administer large clusters or have enterprise situations or restrictions go through. So that's something we're trying to learn or do better. So if you use this and you have bug reports or comments, discussions, anything like that, you can go to our Git repo and post it there, or find us on CNSF Slack. We've been seeing increase in users, and had some good feedback at conferences. One of the main things people have complained last year was that it was slow and clunky, so spent a lot of time trying to make it more responsive. But other problem we're seeing is that people have RBAC restrictions that we don't know what would be the best user experience to deal with that. So any ideas or feedback is greatly valued.
So you're to get this tool, use it, tell your friends about it, get them to use it too,
tell everyone,
and provide us with feedback.
I think, yeah,
Absolutely. That's fantastic. Well, we're at the end of our Weaveworks office hours. Jozef, thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for showing us this awesome GitOps extension for VS Code. Can't wait to get feedback from people that start using it and letting us know how it could be improved, any bugs that you find, and what your experience is like using it. So thanks again.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much.